was like Tide. He experienced some swim by back in the fall. Actually, probably had 10 to 14 days of it, give or take. But we're going to treat it almost as, hey, we're starting from day one again. Dutch also has not had the best attitude around water. And it's not that he had a bad attitude as much as it is when he came to us, he wasn't the greatest swimmer. So you will have some dogs that go out there and just puppy swim and splash in their face. They don't kick their back legs. There's a couple of things that we can do to help that. The main one that we do is a lot of times it just takes maturity, and then we try to spend a lot of time in what's called running water or lunging water, meaning the dog gets in it and he can stand or run in it. And then that just helps build a good attitude so the dog's not there just flailing like a fish out of water, and he's like, okay, water's not a bad thing, I'm gonna get in all this running water. And then when you put him in one that he swims in, he's like, hey, I'm comfortable in that lunging water. We actually have some ponds that give us the ability for the dog to kind of lunge in the water and then fall off into some spots they swim, and then they're coming back up in some lunging water. So it's kind of in and outs, but the dog's staying wet the whole time. Also, one of the big things we do is we wear what's called an aqua vest. So aqua vest or like a life vest for a human. And you'll probably see that we're gonna throw it on this dog. We're not gonna do it today, one, because it's not right here by me, but that's something else that'll help kill out the hind end of that dog, and it'll help that dog feel more comfortable in the water. So it's not, like I said, it's not the dog's had a bad experience with water. We haven't forced him in it. It's just the dog that, like I said, he came to us, not the greatest swimmer in the world, and then it makes some of these tasks in the water harder to achieve because the dog's literally struggling because he's just not a great swimmer. Here, sit, sit, good, dead bird, back. Dog left out a little left, okay? If I throw the dog on the right side and he runs a straighter line to that back pile, I might do the majority of this drill on the right side. And I'm splitting hairs here. A lot of that is a dog avoiding pressure out the gate from beside its handler. So the first thing it goes is left and then goes down. This dog hasn't had that kind of pressure in our personal space, so it might be him just overanalyzing the situation. It looks like, hey, that's the side I want to go to. There's all kinds of things that go on in their brain here. We're going to get closer to the water. Sit. Dead. Back. So I pretty much answered my question that it is not the dog leaving my side and going out because of pressure or something associated with me. He's still peeled out. By leaving from my right side, he's still peeled out to the left. Not big enough deal that I'm going to really worry about it. There are some things I can do. I can come here and throw multiple fun bumpers to the right-hand side, work on dead bird and back, and entering this pond and making everything over here real nice and sweet, and try to get that dog comfortable leaving out and hitting the center of the pond. So there's little things that you can do, shake, that are gonna try to clean that up a little bit. Getting closer to the water is the first thing I'm gonna do. Sit, dead, back. Back. The reason why I'm talking about this the way that I am and trying to pay attention to it is when I go to give my left back cast, it's tough to give the left back if the dog's swimming the left side of that lane. Now, if he turns right, it's going to be real helpful. But if you have a dog that leaves out, swims the left side of this channel that I've got an imaginary lane set up in, then if he turns left, it puts him over here on the left side of my lane, and when I give a left back and the overpile is that obvious, I'm gonna have a hard time with that dog not going to the overpile when I give a left back. Here, at a dog. And these are the little things that you want to pay attention to that are gonna help out in the long run. Loopy sits, dogs that turn one way, dogs that don't turn crisp in the water, don't turn crisp on land, whatever it may be. Here, good. This dog did get further along in this drill than like Ty did, so I put out overpiles so that we can maybe show you the introduction to overs on the swim by. Dead bird. Back. Our first cast was a right back. At a dog. So I'm just stepped over, put my hand over, really just trying to make this side of the corridor like, hey man, you're fine to swim over here or swim directly down the center, so on and so forth. Our next cast is gonna be a left back. Here. Good. Sit. Shake. Sit. Good. Back. Back. Weighted him out a little bit, let him sweat some, and then gave the cast, and with him turning right, it helped him put him in the center of the pond. It's real easy on the swim by to also stop the dog, let the dog almost get 2/3 to 3/4 of the way across, toot, and then instead of that dog sitting there and trying to learn how to tread water right out the gate, I can give a small here or toot toot, and the dog's slowly coming back to me. All the stuff we've done on repositioning on the land tee and then calling the dog back with a little here to square up, you giving a here command in this drill is not going to make that dog typically want to come all the way back, because they already know coming back is not what we're interested in, especially if everything's done correctly on the tee drill. So we can get a little here, the dog swims a little closer to us, and that process is learning to tread a little water, because it's not going to be as eager to come back, and it is also anticipating a cast. Dead bird. Back. Hey, at a dog. Now, I don't have enough bumpers at the back pile to complete out. We're gonna get into overs, complete out the drill. So you're gonna see me throw some fun bumpers to the back pile on some of this dog's next time he goes to the back pile. I'm gonna feed him a bumper over his head. Sit. A little bit of reposition with the bumper there. If I pay attention to that, I want to make sure that I give a here command and try to get his mind off of that little bit of reposition on the bumper. That's nitpicking mouth manners, but if it becomes a problem with the dog, we're going to go here, low level correction, and that's going to be indirect pressure so that we can try to get the dog focused on coming back to us in a more speedily manner, or faster or more prompt, and then it takes his brain off of any of that reposition. Typically see more of that on water than you do land. Dead. Back. Good. Here. Over. This is why it's so important to sit at your back pile and sit at all your piles. So, day one on overs, We're gonna send the dog to a left over or right over. We're gonna walk to the opposite over pile and we're gonna call the dog back to us. Here, as we work this drill, tomorrow, I'm gonna take a step back closer to home base. I'm gonna work my way to the corner of that pond and I'm gonna hang out in that corner, depending on the dog, for a couple of days and get an angle return. By me establishing the overcast, what's gonna happen, and we'll show it next week with this dog, when we start getting in the corner of that pond and calling the dog back, and it goes to get out earlier than we want it to, meaning I'm gonna be standing in this location, I'm gonna call the dog back, it's gonna try to skirt and get out at what I call home plate, which is where we're sending from. We're gonna give a verbal no for the dog touching the land. We're gonna give an over command, and we're gonna send the dog in the direction of the back pile. Odds are we're gonna feed a fun bumper to that back pile, okay? And then what ends up happening is the dog learns. I get out on the bank, I get a no, I get an over back in, and then I'm gonna work my way all the way back to home base where that dog is you're barely gonna cut the corner of that pond, okay? I mentioned earlier with some dogs about that little gem of having that fun bumper thrown to the back pile. Sit, dead, back. I do not want to teach my overs and then let my dog run that bank back to me. It's always gonna, after it gets a bumper, it's always gonna have to get back in the water. Here, hey, 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 good. Now I am gonna walk back like I did with the dog as I'm teaching that, because what's gonna end up happening is I'm not gonna walk and meet it at the pile later on. I'm gonna be in this location and I'm gonna be able to put the dog in the water and I'm not gonna have to walk and meet it. This is the way that we're gonna teach it though. Here, sit, dead, back. Good, over. No, over. All right, my dog gave me a right back. I gave a verbal no, he went in the wrong direction, then I just followed back up with the overcast. All right. Sit, good dog, sit. Pay attention to your dog, don't put your back to your dog in this drill. It's real easy, especially on this small of a pond, to run around. He's already anticipating, hey, I'm gonna get back in the water, I'm gonna come to him. Here, good, here. If you have a dog that is just so eager to run the bank and you're trying to get over here, one is if the dog's trying to run and not gonna honor my sit command, then we probably haven't instilled in that dog to sit at the piles enough on our land tee. We might need to revisit some sit with fun bumpers and you know, there's all kinds of things you can do. You can throw a bumper down and call the dog's name and then sit him in route, stuff like that here. But if that dog's trying to run around the edge of the bank, then you're gonna be on this opposite end, moving left and right, trying to prevent that dog from running around the bank to you. Also, we can, hey, hey, act like we're gonna throw a fun bumper or that we're a bird boy. Number two, we can also throw a bumper right at our feet, right at the edge of the water, and try to get the dog to swim to us on that end, okay? If your dog spits the bumper, jumps in to come and get that one, don't sweat it. We're just trying to establish, get back in the water and swim to me. Not a big deal. We'll address that later on. If you're giving a verbal no and then you're shocking the dog and making it try to fetch up the bumper that it spit, then the dog has a possibility to perceive the pressure incorrectly, and then's like, oh, I'm not getting in the water, I'm running around, and then I'm fidgety with the bumper. Don't sweat it. The goal is to get back in and swim back to you at the other overpile. Dead bird, back. All right, and I said I was gonna run out of bumpers. I'm actually gonna have enough. That bumper got blown by the wind. I was gonna try to take advantage of it and throw it to the right side of my corridor to see if I can get my dog to swim a little bit more on that side of the channel. Hey, hey, here. So since we've discussed that multiple times and we've got the forecast that we've wanted to get for this process, then I am gonna actually work on trying to get the dog to go that side of the corridor. Here, here. Shake. Here. Sit. Sit. Dead bird. Sit. Back. We do have a stiff headwind, and it is a little bit right to left. I don't think that's why Dutch is actually going to that side. Here. Here. Got a little bit of repositioning. Now, I've nitpicked this dog on repositioning. Also, I know this dog's father very well. Mouth manners also can be inherited, but there is a lot that goes on during force fetch and all the drills that we do that can help try to manage those and keep them at a higher level. Dead bird. Sit. Dead bird. Back. One is my Kong and Momarsh 3-inch foam bumpers. In my professional opinion, dogs carry them better than they do the hard rubber plastic bumpers. Also, the bumper's bigger, so their mouth is more spread open. The smaller ones that are 2-inch, they tend to roll in their mouth more. Shake. Here, heel, heel, here, sit, sit, back. All right, so I threw 2 to the right. Dog kind of got in the angle, swam the other side of that corridor. Here, here, here. Then I sent him straight through a fun bumper afterwards. The dog did swim my channel more center. Here. Probably hasn't fixed it. Might be something that we do for one day. Run a back pile, throw bumpers, try to figure out what we can do so that we can help out later on. We want to blow that whistle and get that left cast. Dead bird. Back. Not as bad, better. Might be something that we do at the end of our drill. Like I said, little bits and pieces. Here, we're trying to accomplish. And sometimes you have to slow down and say, hey, I want to focus on this, I want to focus on that. They're creatures of habit. We're creatures of habit. So you go out here and do the same thing every day, let the dog get away with not sitting, whatever it may be. And then before you know it, you want to address something, and it's just because, hey, it's a habit that we've created. Sit. Shake. Shake. Add a dog. Heel. Sit. Sit. Good. Dutch. Hey, add a dog. Good. 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 So, got day 1 of overs. Like I said, this dog had experienced some swim by 4 months ago. So, right back, right over, left over. We'll follow back up next week with the same group of dogs so you can kind of see the progression and how they're reacting with water and all that stuff, and they're learning the cast. Good boy. Good boy.